Right, so we're going to do an oil change today. So what we're going to need for this is a oil extraction pump, or a way to get to the bottom of the sump. If you can't get to the bottom of the sump, you need to remove the oil with an oil extraction pump. You're going to need a new oil filter. You're going to need some oil. You're going to need gloves, tissue, roll, rags, something like that, and gloves. No, I said gloves. What else?
Farmer assistant. Not me, Catherine.
Yeah,
I think that's it, isn't it? Glamorous assistant. When you're doing an oil change, you basically, how much oil you extract, you put back in. So you can have a look at the manual. That'll tell you how much oil is in your engine when it's dry. However, you can't normally get all that amount of oil out of the engine. So it's easier to just start by filling it back up with the amount that you've actually taken out. So that's one of the first things to consider. It's not a very difficult job, it's just a little bit messy. Make sure the engine's warm, so either start it for a couple of minutes or run it and then let it cool down. Ours has been running, so it's nice and warm now. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually see how much oil is in the engine. So that'll give us a rough idea, once we have extracted it, roughly where we're going to end up on the dipstick when we put the same amount of oil back in as we've taken out. And ours is almost full. So it's between the two lines and it's almost at the top of the line, so at the top mark, so that's fine.
How often do you have to do an oil change?
You need to do an oil change either yearly or based on hours. So depending on the, again, you'll find that information in the manual, you need to do it at least yearly. But if you've done so many hours, whatever that, it could be 100 hours, it could be 250 hours, it could be 25 hours early on, you'll need to do an oil change. So, dipstick, oil filler cap, and the white thing down here is your oil filter. Now you can't get to the bottom of the sump on this engine because of the way it's been installed, so what we'll have to do is we'll have to extract the oil out of the dipstick tube with the oil extraction pump, and that's what we're going to do next. You don't want any engine oil really on your skin, if you can help it. It's especially when it's been in the engine for a long time, it's not great.
Fit.
Oh, that's good. You'll need another one, not two gloves. That's fine. You don't also have to buy, again, this Volvo Penta, this engine, but you don't have to buy Volvo Penta parts. Volvo don't make engine oil. You can go and buy the branded stuff if you want to, but just make sure that the spec is right for the engine that you're putting in. So again, you'll find that in your manual, but you can Google this. Again, you can buy these cheaper. Buy a Perkins one for this for £6, or this one for 26. So you just have to make your decision on what you want to do on that.
Okay, do we just put that on there?
Yeah, you're going to pump that in a sec.
Okay.
So let's get rid of the dipstick.
Wait, we're going to pump oil into it?
Yeah.
Or are we just going to pump it? Okay.
The other thing you need is a black bag.
Yeah. Or just a bin bag, or just a plastic bag, really.
Yeah. I don't like doing any of this, really, but
Has to be done.
it does have to be done, unfortunately.
It's like with changing the loo. No one wants to do that, but it has to be done.
It's your job.
No, it's not. You're
Right.
changing the loo.
So that goes in there.
Okay.
Very bottom. That's the very bottom. And then we put that.
We put that on there, don't we? And then
do.
we put this on there.
And then let's pull this. There we go. Push that on there. Okay, so what you now need to do, let's get rid of that bag. What you now need to do,
Me.
yep, is you need to pump on there. Put your pump on there. And create a vacuum now. So you start pumping. We should see the oil come out of here in a sec.
Why are you draining the oil?
Oh, we haven't taken the cap off. That's the other thing. Take the oil cap fully off.
Wait, are we putting oil in here?
Yeah, you're going to pull it through. Oil cap off.
Now can I come?
Yeah, keep going.
Oh,
Oh, it's coming, it's coming. Here it comes.
Oh yeah, you ripped your gloves bad.
I know, it's alright. Okay, so 20 pumps, and then do another 10 pumps. And then we'll just give it a few minutes and let it suck this oil out.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, leave it there. Okay,
Wow,
There
that's
it comes.
cool. That was proper cool. Wow,
Right.
you've ripped your gloves really bad.
It's alright, I'll just change them in a minute. Put another one over the top. So that's it, look, it's starting to fill up. Yep, it's starting to come in now.
Oh yeah.
Now if the engine oil's cold, that's really hard to do. So if you've got cold engine oil, it won't suck it out. It has to be warm.
Is ours warm?
Yeah, it's close, that is. That probably could have done with being just a tad warmer. It is warm, the engine's still nice and warm.
Yeah, the engine's quite hot.
Yeah.
Wait, so let me get this straight. So we're pumping all of this into here.
Yeah.
But then there'll be no engine oil left in the engine.
Correct.
So then how are we meant to get the oil back in the engine?
So we can tip the oil in the engine from the top. So here's your oil can, and there's your oil filler. So
Okay.
we can just tip it in there. So we'll know in a minute when this is emptied, we'll know how much has come out. Should be around 4 litres. I would reckon maybe a little bit. I think it's 4.5 litres will come out of that engine. There'll be some in the oil filter. So there'll be a bit in there, and then the rest should be in this.
Okay. How much is in there now?
Not a lot yet. It's coming out. So we just have a look where we're up to. We've got the kettle on because it's taken a while, but we're past 2 litres now. We're getting closer to 3 litres. I think there's about 4.5 litres in this engine, but we're not going to get that much out, I wouldn't have thought. I wouldn't be surprised if once it gets past about 3.5, it kind of stops. There's a bit in the oil filter, and there'll be a bit in the bottom of the sump that we just can't get out. One of the other things we're just going to do while we're waiting is we're going to replace the air filter. We've bought ourselves a performance air filter here. This is going to add all the difference. Going to get another 50 horsepower out of this engine with this on. So we're just going to swap this. I've just undone that. It's just basically a foam filter, but I thought actually it was showing a few signs of age and deterioration, but actually it's not too bad. But anyway, I've got a nice shiny red one. Put that on there. It's probably going to run worse with that on, but never mind.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. There we go. Clip back on. It's quite difficult to do one-handed. There we go. So we'll tighten that back up and we'll report back as to how that does. So if you can hear that noise now, we'll just pump it one more time so it gets a bit louder. That pretty much means we've got to the bottom now. Again, you can just try and get the last bits out, but it sounds pretty dry to me, that now. Right. Okay. Okay. Okay, passes the bag. Let's try the bag technique. Just come and film in here. Whew, God. So you can see here, there's no space to get. So the old filter's in that bag, and basically I'm just spinning on the new filter here. This is actually slightly bigger than the old one. Again, you don't need to over tighten this. That's tight enough, just hand tight. But put a bit of oil on the top of the O-ring, before you put it on. And then just try and tighten it. Now I'm going to try and retrieve the old filter that is in the bag, and then also do a little bit of a clean up because there's a bit of oil that's come out of that. Okay. That would have been easier with the funnel, really. So we put about 3.5 litres of oil in now. We're right up on the dipstick, so we'll just give that a couple of minutes, we'll give it another check, we'll start it up, run it for a little bit, make sure there are no lights. We'll make sure there are no lights or anything, and then we've got oil pressure. And obviously if you've got a problem straight away or any oil's coming out, just stop, find out what's going on, and then go from there. But that's looking alright. That's why I gave everything a really good clean up then, because we can see straight away. But as I say, we'll give it a couple of minutes, let it just run down, check the oil, put the oil filler cap back on, which we can do now actually. actually. Put that back on. And then we'll start up and see. You may get low oil pressure just for a split second, but it should go out. It shouldn't be on there for very long at all, otherwise you've got a problem.